I don't like this.
That's what I do. I just usually smile. I was hoping that's what I would do. You would present it, but what's your dress? You're going to do smile. What if okay, like just come to Omaha. No, I've come
Now they're getting rid of it. It's $7. What did I do? That's for others. I saw it on Instagram. I don't know if
what they do all the proclamations. I think just chaos for them.
Really? Okay.
No, we're first. Yeah, we're right after all the proclamations. The rest of us are like I think we're first after all the proclamations.
Oh.
Because they just need us to do it. It has nothing to do with work. So I just thought it was funny. I was like, so I'm going to listen to the conference. They're having a conference in the city. They're doing a breakout session. Just invited the visiting pet program. I started looking into it. I was like, I don't really never looked into it. So it looks like it helps with like a version of technique over here more. And it's all about population health. It integrates all the all of the UBS stuff. It was like speaking our language. I was like, what is this place? I looked them all up. You're not scared of dogs.
I don't know, I love dogs.
Me and Charlie might go.
Oh, that's cool. I just don't know what it is.
Me too.
It's about.
No. I was like, God, this is what this is. I started no, I have not. Unless it's just smaller ones. after help give. It's like almost a help them connect with us. After, a federally qualified health center's version of epic thoughts. And it didn't ever give a good report.
Okay.
Can you look into let me know what you think?
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that it was one of the conferences because I looked it up.
So
I think no, it was in a hotel. Like, it was definitely a hotel. If it's in the evening, sometimes we'll go because Ben likes to do extra work. So we do all running on late, and then we do like he's done reading to the library. Let the kids read to him, and then he wants to do extra work. So I was like, pick one, but he didn't know what some of it was, and some of them can't do some libraries. Some of it's heavy. It's like it's too much for him. And he probably won't want to go to that conference. Yeah. Well, it's never boring because he gets to do the dog. I think it's the kids get him. Charles. Very spoiled. It was hard to find stuff to volunteer at like 11 or 12. I was one of them that volunteers was and like we would volunteer would never got much out. So we started this and we were like, because you had to do this class. And it was a whole process and this was great. So we go to a facility. It's a nursing home, but it's not an assisted. It's a higher level assisted. We go every month. Just we go to the one next to Dominican I think the residents are like in the elevator. I'm like, you don't have to. You know you're on floor 3, right? Well, yeah. Make some friends. Anybody who talks to our kids we had all bet that Charlie would do that. She did. It's not like a meeting. It's like it's just don't it's minimal. Like I was like, she wants to do like special stuff. We're not trained for that, but she can sit and not jump, and we can control it. It's more about us. So I told Ben, I was like, Charlie doesn't have to pass. We have to pass. So we have to. Old. Stop it. That's how old kids are old. Well, you spoke about your daughter. I thought maybe you might know. Okay. It's not old. I wish I was that old. No. I don't know if I can explain it. If I had the knowledge I have now. Right, that's oh my God. Could you imagine? Okay.
Good evening. And welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, March 16th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. This meeting is called to order with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance from Deacon Donnie Hills with the First Baptist Church in Paradis. Please stand.
Good evening. Heavenly Father, we first come to give you all the praise, honor, and glory. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to see another day. Live another moment, because the next moment is not promised. In our meeting right now, Lord, we pray that everything is done decently and in order, and that every voice is heard and listened to. We pray right now, Lord, for our parish president and the council, that you will give them the knowledge and the understanding, but most importantly, Lord, the wisdom to apply it so that the decisions that they make will be for the best of St. Charles Parish. Lord, you chose them for a reason and a season. Let them realize the importance of listening to the people, but most important, for listening to you. Realize that, Father God, that only what we do for you will last. So, Lord, I lift them up to you right now, Lord. Use them in a positive way. And, Lord, in all their decision making, let them seek your counsel first, because you're God that's never made a mistake. So, Lord, we praise you right now. Lord, you're going to have your way, but use us in a positive way so we can be a positive influence here in St. Charles Parish. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Deacon Hill. Approval of the minutes. A motion and a second are needed to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of March 2nd, 2026. We have a motion by Mr. Brouillet and a seconder by Ms. Skiba. Please cast your votes. And that passes unanimously. We have a deviation from the regular agenda. A motion and a second is needed to deviate from the regular order of the agenda to take up file number 2026-0094. It's a matter not on the agenda. That is 2026-0094 in memoriam Jacob M. Dufresne Sr. We have a motion by Mr. Brouillet and a seconder by Mr. Carnadell to deviate from the regular order of the agenda to take up file number 2026-0094. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak on the deviation, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment on the deviation is closed. Vote on the deviation. Do we have any council discussions? Seeing none, please cast your vote on the deviation only. And that passes unanimously. All right, so 2026-0094 in memoriam Jacob M. Dufresne Sr. And Mr. Brouillet, could you address this? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Parish of St. Charles in memoriam, whereas on December 26, 2025, Almighty God, in his infinite wisdom, saw fit to call from amongst us one of his most worthy servants, Jacob M. Dufresne Sr. And whereas Jacob was born to parents Lawrence L. J. Dufresne Jr. and Marie Sally Dufresne, and was a resident of St. Charles Parish, he was devoted to his family, his wife Dana Oncal Bergeron Dufresne, devoted father of Jacob Dufresne Jr., Luke Bergeron, Zachary Bergeron, and proud grandfather of 2 grandchildren. And whereas Jacob began working for St. Charles Parish in July 2000 as an electrician with wastewater, he became wastewater maintenance foreman in February of 2013 and in January 2022, was promoted to wastewater operations manager. He was employed with St. Charles Parish for over 25 years. And whereas Jacob was a member of the South Lafourche Bassmaster Club, to Jacob, fishing was more than a pastime. Fishing was his passion, as well as his special time with God. And whereas Jacob enjoyed college football, golfing, playing cards, and cooking, he was all about making memories with his family and grandchildren. And whereas, on behalf of all citizens of St. Charles Parish, the Parish Council, and the Parish President, we proudly, posthumously honor Jacob Dufresne for his exceptional service for our parish and his legacy as a devoted and loving family man. Now therefore be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, duly assembled on this 26th day of January 2026, do hereby express our sincere sympathy to the family, Jacob M. Dufresne Sr., January 7th, 1976 through December 26, 2025. Be it further resolved that a page in the official minute book of the St. Charles Parish Council be set aside to record this memoriam, and when the meeting is adjourned, it shall be done in memory of Jacob M. Dufresne Sr. May he rest in peace. And Dana Dufresne, his wife, as well as a number of family members are here to accept. Please come forward.
Thank you guys so much. My husband was so smart, and he used his ability to solve problems to do the best work he could. And it wasn't just at home when he wanted to hang a picture, he measured and had it even. He did it at his job too. And he always was fair with everybody, and he treated his workers as equal to him and like he would want to be treated. And when he messed up, he made sure they always knew that it had to start at the top. If you do something, you have to be walking it. You can't just be talking it. So thank you. I just appreciate all that I've experienced through him, and I love our parish. So I hope that his work ethic would be instilled in one or two or maybe a few. So thank y'all so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Dufresne, and sorry for your loss. All right, I need a motion and a second to return to the regular order of the agenda. Motion by Mr. Fisher and seconded by Ms. Skiba. Please cast your votes. And that passes unanimously. Special business, proclamations, canvass returns, etc. 2026-0095, in recognition, Justin Paul Taravella, Eagle Scout. And that's going to be Mr. Bruya again.
Thank you, Chair. Justin Paul Taravella is a resident of St. Charles Parish, residing in Luling, Louisiana, with his mother, Sharon, his father, Derek, and sister, Ashley. And whereas Justin is a member of Troop 317, chartered by the Southeast Louisiana Council Boy Scouts of America in Destrehan. He started his scouting career in September 2014, and whereas Justin has spent the last 6 years as an active member of the Scouts preparing to become an Eagle Scout, and whereas Justin has earned his 25 merit badges from a list of 137 badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by planning, coordinating, and constructing a bicycle service station at the Bonnie Carré Spillway in partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And whereas Justin earned these 25 merit badges by showing leadership ability as patrol leader, senior patrol leader, and troop guide. And whereas Justin rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on June 2nd, 2025, and received his medal in a ceremony on January 10th, 2026, at the St. Charles Parish West Bank Regional Library in Luling. And whereas Justin is a junior at Brother Martin High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership as an Order of the Arrow unit representative for Troop 317. Now therefore be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute and recognition to Justin Paul Taravella.
I want to start off by thanking the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and Parish President Jewel. I am truly honored to be recognized tonight as an Eagle Scout. Thank you for valuing and supporting the efforts of young people in our community. This recognition means a lot to me. Earning the rank of Eagle Scout has been a journey of growth, responsibility, and service. Through scouting, I learned the importance of leadership, perseverance, and putting others before myself. My Eagle Project, which was a bike repair station at the Bonnie Carré Spillway, gave me the opportunity to give back to this parish and make a small but meaningful difference. I am incredibly grateful to the Troop 317 adult leaders for their guidance, to my fellow Scouts for their friendship, and especially to my family for their constant support and encouragement. I will carry the values of the Scout Oath and Scout Law with me in everything I do, and I hope to continue serving this community that has given me so much. Thank you again for this honor. It is always one I will cherish.
Okay, next we have another proclamation, 2026-0096, United Way of St. Charles 5K Bridge Run Day in St. Charles Parish, and we have Miss Wilson to present.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Whereas, on Saturday, March 28, 2026, the United Way of St. Charles 5K Bridge Run, presented by Shell Norco, co-presented by Valero St. Charles Refinery, will be held to benefit the United Way of St. Charles. And whereas, United Way of St. Charles provides funding to 30 agencies and programs that provide a wide range of health and human services in St. Charles Parish. And whereas, these services include promoting health, wellness, and independence strengthening the community and supporting families, assisting with basic and emergency needs, and helping kids succeed. And whereas United Way value in the community goes far beyond dollars raised by building coalitions that produce collaborative and creative solutions to pressing community problems. And whereas the parish president and the members of the parish council wish to join in and lend their support for this most worthy cause. Now therefore, be it resolved, we the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the parish president do hereby proclaim Saturday, March 28, 2026 as United Way of St. Charles 5K Bridge Run Day in St. Charles Parish. Be it further resolved that the citizens of St. Charles Parish are hereby urged to accept the challenge and be a part of this unique event. We have John Diaz to accept.
Thank you all very much. And, you know, as I was listening to the proclamation, I feel pretty certain that I could interpret this language to mean that you will all, in fact, be participating in the bridge run. So I look forward to seeing that. And I also point out, like I tell everyone, the great part about the bridge run is you register, you get a shirt, you go to the party. No one knows if you ran. So just head over there. Go for it, right? But anyway, thank you all very much. Without the support of our parish government, without the support of our community, we couldn't have events like this. We have such a great relationship with all of you. And thank you not only for your support of United Way, but just what you do for the community in general. And I'll see you all on the 28th. And I won't ask about your time. So thanks.
Next is item 2026-0097, proclamation, Child Abuse Prevention Month. Mr. Jew?
Thank you, Chairman. A proclamation. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a complex and ongoing problem in society affecting many children in our community, and whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, and nurtured, and feel secure, and free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes into contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe, nurturing childhood. And whereas St. Charles Parish has dedicated individuals and organizations who work daily to counter the problem of child maltreatment and to help parents obtain the assistance they need. And whereas our communities are stronger when all of our citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, social service agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas all citizens, community agencies, faith organizations, and businesses will work to increase their efforts to support families. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in St. Charles Parish and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live. And here to accept, I think we have Miss Jody Luna. Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you to the council members for recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. On behalf of Child Advocacy Services and court-appointed special advocates, the CASA program, and the children we serve, I want to express our sincere appreciation for your continued support and for help bringing awareness to such an important cause. Throughout April, you'll see blue pinwheels displayed in our community. The blue pinwheel is a national symbol for child abuse prevention. It represents the happy, healthy childhood every child deserves and serves as a reminder that protecting children and supporting families is a responsibility we all share. Your recognition of this month helps shine a light on the importance of advocacy, prevention, and community involvement. With partners like you, CASA volunteers can continue to be a voice for children in our community who need someone standing beside them. Thank you again for your support and for helping us promote hope, safety, and brighter futures for all of our children. Thank you all.
Next, we have Proclamation 2026-0098, Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Financial Literacy Month, and I'll present that one. Whereas sexual assault and financial literacy are key issues for victims of domestic and sexual violence, at the same time, one of the greatest barriers to escaping a pattern of abusive behavior is economics. And whereas today's economy is exacerbating sexual assault, and at the same time, it is limiting the options for survivors to get help, and whereas 99% of women who experience physical violence in a relationship also experience some form of economic abuse. Abusers use finances as an invisible weapon to keep victims trapped in an abusive relationship. And whereas the National Network to End Domestic Violence and the Allstate Foundation has teamed up to create a unique program that is helping survivors of abuse become financially literate and independent from those who continuously perpetrate abuse against them. And whereas the Allstate Foundation Purple Purse campaign is aimed at creating long-term safety and security for survivors through financial empowerment, the program ignites fundraising for hundreds of national, state, and local domestic violence organizations, and whereas the Metro Centers for Community Advocacy provides free and confidential services to women, children, and male survivors to enable families to regain their physical and emotional strength with the goal to provide assistance to anyone seeking help. And this is accomplished through state, federal, and local grant monies as well as donations. And whereas the mission of the Metro Centers for Community Advocacy is to break the cycle of violence and aid survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, and stalking, now therefore be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Financial Literacy Month in St. Charles Parish, and encourage all residents to educate themselves and speak out against sexual violence and to increase their understanding of financial stability. And I believe we have Mr. Mark Medina here.
So good evening. I want to thank President Jewell and the council members for continuing to honor this incredibly important month for many reasons, but of course where I'm here to represent for Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Financial Literacy Month. It's interesting that these two go together because, as the council member said, these two are tightly intertwined. As I mentioned, 99% of our domestic violence victims experience economic abuse, and often sexual assault is one of the other forms of abuse. that they experience. And of course, the sexual assault victims that just experience sexual assault, they certainly don't need to add anything else to traumatize them further. And at Metro, we continue our mission to aid all survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, human trafficking through all of the holistic services that we provide, from emergency shelter to the 24-hour hotline to the free and confidential individual and group counseling that we provide. And, it occurred to me as I was sitting there and I was watching some of the proclamations go out. It's exciting for me to come and pick this up, but really, the awareness month part of it, I'm just taking this piece of paper back to our organization so it has somewhere to live. But really, the spirit of the awareness month is for the community here, the council members, the president, and the members of St. Charles Parish here to be aware. Because at Metro, we're already aware. But we want the community to be aware of this issue, and also to be aware that Metro is here. We've been here for 40 years now, and we'll continue hopefully to be here for at least another 40 more. So thank you all very much.
Next we have Proclamation 2026-0099, proclamation for Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. And Mr. Mobley, would you handle that, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Proclamation. Whereas Parkinson's disease is a chronic, progressive neurological disorder of the central nervous system affecting more than 1 million people in the United States, and whereas research suggests the cause of Parkinson's disease is a combination of genetic and environmental factors, but the exact cause and progression of the disease is still unknown. And whereas the symptoms of Parkinson's disease vary from person to person and can include tremors, slowness of movement and rigidity, difficult with balance, swallowing, chewing, and speaking, cognitive impairment and dementia, mood disorders such as depression and anxiety, and other symptoms. And whereas research, education, and community support services are needed to find more effective treatments and to provide access to quality care to those living with the disease today. Now therefore be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month in St. Charles Parish, and urge all community members to learn more about Parkinson's disease from the Davis Finney Foundation for Parkinson's and support the individuals living with this disease and their caregivers. I don't believe we have anybody here to accept this proclamation, so maybe it's intended for me. No.
Thank you, Mr. Mobley. Next, we have 2026-0100, Need to Feed Month in St. Charles Parish, and I'll have the honors of reading that. Proclamation. Whereas 1 in 6 households in Louisiana are at risk of hunger, according to the Community Needs Assessment Survey in St. Charles Parish, nutrition and food pantry services were the second concern citizens had. The parish has experienced an increase in the need for food in the parish, and whereas the St. Charles Parish Department of Community Services, in partnership with the Coalition of Food Banks throughout the parish, is working together to call attention to the need to restock and maintain adequate food supplies in our local food banks. And whereas food collection sites will be established throughout the St. Charles Parish to collect non-perishable foods to be evenly distributed to the local food pantries during the month of April, and whereas local food banks try to provide food needed for the families of St. Charles Parish with food insecurities, and also help families learn how to live healthier lives through nutrition, movement, and safety workshops. And whereas let us all join together to help feed America by starting with the citizens in our own parish. So now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Need to Feed Month in St. Charles Parish, and encourage all citizens of St. Charles Parish to support the efforts of local food banks responding to the growing need for food support to individuals and families in St. Charles Parish. And I believe we have Ms. Schindler, Marianne Schindler here. There she is.
Thank you to St. Charles Council and President Matt Jewell. This is a special parish, and it's unlike very many others. Our community is a special community. Though we have a lack of food right now from USDA, from Second Harvest, from some of the places we used to pick up from Winn-Dixie and places like that, the food has drastically been cut back. But because of the community we live in and the grants that we're able to get and working with the other food pantries and helping each other with what food we get and they don't, and vice versa, we're still able to help the community the best that we can. We are very blessed to have industry, businesses, schools, and just the community come out and help with the work and help with collecting the food, which is very special and not all parishes have. The blessings that we've had lately, and I think speaks for the future of St. Charles Parish and hopefully for the future of the United States, is the children that are learning to serve. We have had on school days off, like last Wednesday, we had an enormous amount of families and children and clubs that came to work from the schools. We've had Destrehan National Honor Society. We've had the Narco 4-H Club come as a field trip, as their school field trip. We have Harry Hurst softball team and soccer team coming next week, in 2 weeks, as a field trip from school. Not only is this great that the schools are allowing this to happen, but the children want to do this. So I feel very confident that our future is in good hands, and we will continue to take care of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schindler. Next proclamation, 2026-0101, Fair Housing Month in St. Charles Parish. And I think, Ms. DeBruya, you have that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Proclamation, whereas the 50th anniversary of the National Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, during the month of April, is an occasion for all Americans, individually and collectively, to rededicate themselves to the principle of freedom from housing discrimination whenever it exists. And whereas this law guarantees for each citizen the critical and personal element of freely choosing a home, and whereas a fair housing law has been passed by the state of Louisiana, and implementation of the law requires the positive commitment, involvement, and support of each of our citizens, and whereas the departments and agencies of the state of Louisiana are to provide leadership in the effort to make fair housing not just an idea, but ideal for all our citizens. And whereas barriers that diminish the rights and limit the options of any citizen to freely choose a home will ultimately diminish the rights and limit the options of all. Now therefore be it resolved, we the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Fair Housing Month in St. Charles Parish. And I believe Carla Chasson is here to accept.
Thought she was going to speak. Sorry. Next item. My apologies. 2026-0092, National Community Development Week. And I believe Mr. Fisher has that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program has operated since 1974 to provide local governments with the resources required to primarily meet the needs of low and moderate income individuals, and whereas the Community Block Development Grant Program is among the few remaining federal programs available to address the needs of low and moderate income individuals and smaller cities. And whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program has provided St. Charles Parish with important and flexible assistance to meet the needs of low and moderate income residents by funding sewer, water, street improvement projects, economic development projects, and other public improvement projects. And whereas Congress and the nation acknowledge the critical value of the Community Development Block Grant Program and the significant projects that rely on its funds for support. And whereas the week of April 6th through the 10th, 2026 has been reserved for recognition and appreciation of the Community Development Block Grant Program. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the members of St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim the week of April 6th through 10th, 2026 as National Community Development Block. And I know we have this test on it. Accept this.
So we're recognizing the National Community Development Week in support of the Community Development Block Grant Program, which is a very important program to St. Charles Parish. And through the years, we've been able to do very many projects in the low to moderate income areas and bring our parish further. So we definitely hope to see that this program continues to be funded on the federal level. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. And I have to say, you do a great job. Okay, back with the glasses. Next we have reports, finance and administrative activities. 2026-0102, St. Charles Community Health Center. And I believe we have Ms. Chartrain Roberson to report. Thank you.
Hi, actually my name is Jency White. I'm the Director of Operations with
the St. Charles Community Health Center in Luling. I'm here with some of my colleagues tonight, as well as our partner from the American Heart Association, who's going to tell you guys about some new initiatives that we have coming specific to St. Charles Parish. But before that, I just want to remind you guys of our mission. We improve the health of the people we serve, and we serve everyone regardless of their ability to pay. If you can go to the next slide. So we have two main locations in St. Charles Parish. We have the Luling location on 843 Milling, as well as the East Bank location in Norco. We have several school-based wellness centers. Hornville, Destrehan both have behavioral health. We have JB Martin and RJVL, which have full school-based wellness centers that have both primary care as well as behavioral health. That's at Albert, Cammon, and St. Rose as well. And we have Luling Elementary, who does both, and kind of a hybrid thing going on with the clinic. You can go to the next slide. And this is our services. We do just about everything, as well as a 340B pharmacy, which provides a discount to our patients. We have WIC with his Women, Infant, and Children, as well as some case management. We do just about everything. But today we have our partner with the American Heart Association, who's going to go over some initiatives and a new testing protocol that we're going to start in Luling, as well as one of our health coaches is going to tell you about her diabetic prevention program. So I'll turn it over to the American Heart Association.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm Coretta. Many years, the American Heart Association do that slide. Oh, that's what he was saying. Push. Thank you. It's the type of lipoprotein that passes down in families, and it's a common risk factor for heart disease. We are raising awareness with a simple blood test for detection through our partnership with St. Charles Parish Community Health Center. Participating patients will receive education, support, and LP(a) care kits. We anticipate these resources to come to the community next month in April. Another resource coming to the Luling community is our new mom maternal health kits. This kit helps moms monitor their own health, such as blood pressure during pregnancy and postpartum, and to learn the vital CPR skills needed for infants as well. Each kit contains a pregnancy validated blood pressure cuff, infant CPR kit, bilingual health resources, reusable bags, and links to WIC and SNAP education and supportive services. These resources are going to be available starting this Thursday to the community. The next slide does talk a little bit about where our initiatives are driving awareness, and it shows the 10 community health centers across the country that were selected to participate in the special LP(a) cohort. We are one of 10. About 1 in 5 people have lipoprotein(a), and most people don't know that they have it. And we're excited to see how this 3-year project is going to impact this parish and this community and improve our care across the country. I do have some folders for the council that have both of the programs initiatives in them, so you can get more details. And I'm going to hand it over to talk about the next initiative around diabetes.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Barrios. I'm born and raised St. Charles Parish, so I'm very happy to have my career here as well. Our new program here at St. Charles Parish, and Luling specifically, is a diabetes prevention program. It is a CDC recognized program focusing on diabetes prevention. It focuses on nutrition, physical activity, and behavior change. It's proven to reduce diabetes risk for up to 58%. Next slide, please. The program structure is a 12-month program. So for a whole year, our participants will join us for weekly sessions for the first 16 weeks, followed by monthly follow-ups, and then tracking weight, physical activity through MyFitnessPal Premium, which is a free incentive for our participants. The goals of our program is a 5 to 7% weight loss, improved nutrition habits, and at least 150 minutes of weekly activity, and long-term lasting health style changes. So who should participate? Is anyone with prediabetes, which is an A1C of 5.7 to 6.4, a BMI equal or greater than 25, or if you're Asian, equal or greater than 23, history of gestational diabetes, and a high risk score of the CDC prediabetes risk test, overweight with a risk factor such as hypertension or inactivity. Next slide, please. So if anyone's interested in participating, it is open to everyone, not just our patients, and you can scan the handy dandy QR code down there, and if you're interested, and see if you qualify for our program. And thank you.
Thank you all. Next, we have 2026-0103. It's Parish President remarks and report. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. We're going to go get ahead and get started with the ribbon cutting that we had this morning as it comes up on the screen. Okay, we cut the ribbon on the Sunset Pump Station bar screen cleaner project. As you may know, the Sunset Pump Station, which services about 7,000 acres on the west bank of St. Charles Parish, did not have automated bar screen cleaners. It's the last major pump station in the parish that did not have these auto bar screen cleaners on it. We had a $12.5 million project to improve. That was the addition of the automated bar screen cleaners you see in the picture, the Wasky deck that we're standing on that can hold about 80,000 pounds, the widening of the canal where we removed about 60,000 cubic yards of material out of. So this is going to be a nice improvement for the residents in Bayou Gauche. It's also going to be an improvement for our employees who traditionally have had to use an excavator with a kind of makeshift rake on the front of it to scrape those bar screens. Either way, it was dangerous to do, and we could not do it in very inclement weather because of just the safety involved. So this is the first step in bringing the Sunset Pump Station up to the 21st century like many of our other pump stations. Phase 2 of this is going to be the actual pumps itself at Sunset. Both projects, this project was about a little over $12 million, and we had $6 million from CPRA. The next project's going to be somewhere in the $10 to $12 million range where we replace the pumps and engines at the station. And we also have another allotment of funding from CPRA for that as well. So we're excited to do that and to bring some stability to this pump station in Bayou Gauche, which is going to allow the crews who work there now to be able to work on other things that they have to work on day to day, a lot of work orders for those guys. We also cut the ribbon last week on the Deputy Jeff G. Watson extension. This extension is 1,270 feet of roadway, new lighting, and a parking lot that will serve our future dog park. The road honors the memory of St. Charles Parish Deputy Jeff G. Watson, who lost his life in the line of duty on August 4th, 2013. Okay, an update on months 1 and months 2. Construction is moving along. The concrete crossing beams have been incorporated into the design, allowing maintenance crews and equipment to safely access and move across the structure while servicing the station. The work is preparing. This work's preparing for the discharge pipes that are going to run underneath the roadway and then up and over the levee. So, again, complex project. They're doing a lot of concrete pours out here, starting at like 3 in the morning, and they're continuous pours. So we want to keep an eye on it, but let these guys do their work, and hopefully the weather stays good and allows them to keep working. And we are keeping our fingers crossed for no spillway openings this year that would impact that work as well. Okay, want to switch over to the DeSalmon's boat launch. As you can see, Cycle Construction has mobilized their equipment at the boat launch site, and They have set a construction barge in the water to begin work on the new launch. This early work allows the contractors access to the bayou and to begin preparing the area for the installation of the actual launch and dock components. So another great project. I want to say thank you to Chevron for both this project and the Sunset Auto Bar Screen project. We could not have done that project without their help and them and their donations of land to us. Okay, Evangeline Road. We have been on Evangeline Road in months installing and replacing culverts. We've replaced nearly 2,000 feet of various size culverts along Evangeline Road, starting from River Road and working our way up towards Airline. Once fully complete, the upgrades will allow drainage to flow more freely. And I will mention that many of these culverts were being upsized as well, so we're increasing the flow as well. We're doing the same thing over in New Sarpy, as you can see. Replacing aging galvanized pipe with polyethylene piping in the 100 block of St. Charles Street in New Sarpy. And again, we're addressing deteriorated infrastructure throughout the parish and installing more durable and upsized culverts. So again, anytime we are able to, we will upsize those pipes if we have the ability to do so. And we do work very closely with our engineering department as we do these projects and these work orders to size the pipes. So we want to say thanks to not only the folks who are installing the pipes, our road crews who are doing this, but to our engineering staff as well, who are working to make sure that the pipes we put in are the correct size and are going to help us in the future. Okay, over the West Bank, we're doing some canal cleaning on near Pat's Court, from Perry Lane to Pat's Court to be exact, and removing built-up sediment and vegetation and other debris that gets accumulated in these ditches over time. So, again, thanks to our crews on the West Bank who are doing this work as well. Harryhurst Middle School, they took a tour of our EOC last week. The EOC staff gave them a tour of the Operations Center and showed them what happens during extreme weather events and what the EOC is used for. This is a follow-up to a project that many students at Harryhurst work on, which is they have to design kind of their own emergency operations center for a storm that is hitting St. Charles Parish, and they get to select where they're going to put that emergency operations center and what they're going to put in it and how they're going to staff it. It's a pretty cool project that they do, and Jason Taste, our EOC director, and I went to Harryhurst to watch them present that. So as a follow-up, we brought them to our EOC and showed them how ours works. Okay, Animal Shelter book signing event with Mimosa Elementary. Second graders from Mimosa Park stopped by our animal shelter for a book signing with Sarah Dean Kimball, the author of Rowan and the Animal Shelter. Students learned about what to do if they find a stray pet in their area, and were able to get a great personal copy of the book, and as well as see all the animals at the animal shelter. Okay, Trash Bash and Swamp School reminders again. Trash Bash registration is open through Thursday, April 9th. www.stcharlesparish.gov/trashbash. For the 18th year, we'll pitch in to clean up St. Charles Parish, and that's going to be on Saturday, April 18th. We're trying to do some extra stuff with America 250, so we're trying to get our parish extra clean this year. We want as many people to participate as you can. If you're interested in doing it, you get to sign up and you get to clean up whatever area of the parish you want. It could be in your home area or your neighborhood, and we will provide all the materials for you to do that, along with a shirt. And then Swamp School registration. It's a reminder that Swamp School registration is ongoing, and it opens each Saturday in March at midnight. I said this at the last meeting. You better be on at midnight to sign your kid up, or else they are not getting in. And you better be clicking that refresh button very quickly. scpparksandrec.com if you're interested. The camp registration takes place on a first-come, first-served basis, and the cost is $200 per child. The Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra is helping us celebrate America 250 with a memorable night of music and patriotism in St. Charles Parish. The LPO Orchestra will take the stage at the LaFon Performing Arts Center on Saturday, April 18th. That's the same day as Trash Bash, but this is going to be 7:30 p.m., and they're going to be performing patriotic favorites, American classics, and historical readings that honor our nation's history. This is the only event that the LPO is doing in the state of Louisiana for America 250. We are so excited for them to have it here. We're asking our residents if they want to attend this event. It's available online through the LaFon Performing Arts Center website. It's $25. And a special thanks to our sponsors, IMTT, Shell, Valero, and Dow, for helping make this event possible. This is the only time we're doing this. The next one is going to be 250 years from this one. So we do need you to go to this one if you want to see it, because you may not be here at the next one. Okay, Ballet Images and Gonzo's Smokehouse, they both had ribbon cuttings this past week. Last week we cut the ribbon on both. Ballet Images, 613 Paul Mallard Road in Suite 100. It's a nonprofit classical ballet organization dedicated to promoting the arts through performance, education, and community outreach. And then we want to also extend our congratulations to Gonzo Smokehouse. They have relocated from Luling River Road over in Lone Star to, again, Luling River Road, but over by the West Bank Bridge Park. It's a larger space. They have the ability to serve more people more quickly and cook more food. And we were excited to go by there and help them celebrate. That's 13899 River Road, Suite C in Luling. And Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Next, we have ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication, public hearing on Monday, April 6, 2026 at 6 p.m., Council Chambers, Courthouse in Hanville. Those will be 2026-0104, -0105, -0106, -0112, and -0113. We also have 0114, where copies have been made and placed in the folders of the council members. Next is ordinances scheduled for public hearing introduced at previous meeting. First, we have 2026-0082, an ordinance to amend Ordinance 81-10-6, the St. Charles Parish Zoning Ordinance of 1981 is amended. Appendix A, Section 7, Supplemental Use and Performance Regulations for Solar Energy Systems Large, that is LSES, to add development standards. And Mr. Albert, could you lead us on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the ordinance that has been through the Parish Legislative Committee and Planning Commission. This sets forth new standards for large-scale solar operations, including setbacks, landscaping standards, and some glare regulations. I took note of your comments during the Legislative Committee, and to quote you, it's good. So I think we're ready to go on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2026-0082 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Ms. O'Daniel? Oh, I'm sorry. You got to be a little quicker.
Sorry, you look down before I put my hand up. Mr. Council members, my name is Jeff Arnold. I reside in Meadow, Louisiana, 3166 Board Street. I'm the Executive Director of the America First Energy Project, Louisiana. We're a 501c3 organization, all the above energy policy group. Not here to speak in favor or opposed to the ordinance per se, but to talk a little bit about, and I apologize for not being more involved sooner on the issue with you all as I work across the entire state on energy generation, utility scale issues. I want to commend you on opting out of the state's Act 279, which passed last year, signed by the governor August 1st. If you check your email history on August 13th, you got an email from me suggesting that you do so. And also offering any assistance that we could give with regards to helping you draft or redraft solar ordinances. I have 21 years public service, 14 years as a state representative here in Louisiana, served as chairman of the Commerce Committee, so worked with the PSC a lot, utility companies, as well as worked on state and federal level utilities with the National Association of Electric Cooperatives and CEO of the Louisiana Association of Electric Cooperatives. That's just to say my background, pretty intensive on utilities. We are not an industry trade group. We are a nonprofit. They don't sit on our board. They don't tell us what to do. We recently subscribed to a service that gives us updates of what's going on around the state. We get your agendas, your ordinances and stuff. So we have keywords. That's how it came up recently, because we just got it on it. Yours popped up. The only concern that I see from a developer perspective with the ordinances, you've got great fencing, opaque, everything to hide the solar, which is what we propose. You're going from a 30-foot setback to a 300-foot setback. Developers will view that as a virtual moratorium from the parish. I'm not suggesting you go back to 30. I advocated for the opt-out. I worked with the legislative leadership to get that opt-out so that you would have local control, because I think control is best local for these type projects. You know what your citizens want. You know what they can tolerate, and you know where they do and don't want these projects to take place. But a 300-foot setback by developers will get you passed over. They won't even look at your parish, some of them, because the setback takes away such acreage from the project and makes them sometimes financially not viable. I wrote the ordinance for St. Helena Parish, worked with them for months. I'm currently working with St. Tammany Parish. We're writing their ordinance as well. And so, they're stiffening their ordinance, St. Tammany as well. St. Helena didn't have one. I've wrote the resolutions to opt out of the state's Act 279 for many other parishes. I just wanted to bring to your attention the fact that 300 is a little extreme when 30 is the national standard.
Excuse me, sir. You're out of time. Would you need a little bit more time?
No, that's it.
We appreciate your addressing these issues. Just for curiosity's sake, were you involved or had seen tangible HOA's regulations?
I have seen there, though I'm not involved with it. I've worked with Nextera a little bit on the 8-meet solar project. Near the end of it, and they're now doing battery storage to go with the 8-meet solar project. But no, I was not involved with the drafting of theirs.
Okay. We had actually considered theirs in the state and next to our existing one. That's how we came up with our modifications.
Sure. No, like I said,
I appreciate your input. Well, dude.
Great. I agree with your comments during the committee meeting.
Thank you. All right. Is there any other person who would like to come up and speak regarding this item? If so, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. So we see none this time. So the public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Ms. O'Daniels.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to thank President Jewell and Michael Albert for recognizing, even before solar came in to everybody's thought processes, to get ahead of the game and actually draft proactive ordinances. And similar to our conversation in legislative, Councilman Pele and I got together and tried to work as quickly as possible to give our input on additional setbacks and things once there was I believe Act 279, which only kicks in at about 75 acres. I'd also like to thank y'all for your previous work, which is covered now between 10 and 75 acres with the decommissioning. And although the state has just finalized their plans on decommissioning, I think that you've protected the residents on all angles on this. And I want to thank y'all for all your hard work and work on this actual code here and the revisions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Fonseca,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to thank the gentleman because we did receive your email last year, and although we did have ordinance in place at the time from the previous council, we weren't aware that we were needing to opt out of the state's regulations so that our, as locals, we could continue to regulate it. And it also spurred some council action to strengthen, which you see here tonight. So just wanted to thank you very much for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you, Ms. Fonska. I'd like to, no, not a motion, my goodness. Just want to speak. You saw my finger hit it, didn't you? Okay. I put a little bit of work in this with Miss O'Daniels and Miss Albert and Miss in the parish attorney, Corey Ube. And, I would like to say that people may or may not recognize that these are the large systems, but we also have another regulation for small systems, small solar energy systems, which is covered right behind this LSES, which means 10,000 square feet or less, or 30% of the lot size. So if anybody's being dissuaded from putting something smaller, like on their property, or maybe they got a farm or something, don't go take a look at the regulation for the SSES, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. So I just want to thank everybody, and good job. All right, if there's no further council discussion, it doesn't seem to be, we'll open that for a vote. Wait a second. Did we need a first, a motion, then a...
No, sir.
We got it. And that passes unanimously. Next we have 2026-0083, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 18, Personnel, Article 1, in general, Section 18-1, Regulations for Substance Abuse by Parish Employees. I think we have Ms. Parker here.
Good evening, Parish President Jewell and council members. I'm Dana Parker, the Personnel Officer, and I'm presenting to you some modifications to our current substance abuse ordinance. This ordinance was adopted by the council originally in 1990, and the ordinance has been through a few amended revisions since then, and you all had last adopted an amendment in 2020. Since then, as we've worked through enforcing the policy, we often discuss the additional clarity and modernization would really be helpful. The proposed changes that we're presenting to you today were from a joint effort of the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, our Risk Management Officer, our Parish Attorney, and Personnel Officer, which is me. The updates we are proposing modernize the parish's existing policy without changing its core intent, which is really to ensure a safe environment for all employees and the public, of course, and to ensure a productive workforce free from impairment. The goal here was to strengthen the policy by clarifying expectations related to prescription and over-the-counter medications, incorporating stronger enforcement for safety-sensitive positions, expanding the authority for the parish to authorize a fit-for-duty evaluation, clarifying our random drug testing process and reasonable suspicion objective behaviors, and providing managers and employees with clear guidance. The current policy is pretty vague, specifically in the area of prescription and over-the-counter medications, which is the section where you'll see most updates. These updates help our employees to understand their ownership by providing a clear focus on being fit for duty, instructing employees to consult with their physician, and to disclose any work restrictions or safety concerns to their manager. We added a strong emphasis for employees in safety-sensitive positions to notify their supervisor in the event that they need to take a medication that may affect their ability to safely and effectively perform their job duties. We also expanded the authority of the parish to have an employee evaluated for fit for duty should there be a cause for concern. We strengthened and modernized the language for our testing processes, including random testing procedures and reasonable suspicion testing objective behaviors for consistency and legal defensibility. Our penalties for violation, including the ability to go through treatment following a first-time positive, remains the same, unless the employee is within their 6-month probationary period. Also, misconduct, accidents, or injuries while impaired may still result in immediate dismissal after a first-time positive. So again, with collaboration from administration, risk management, legal, and personnel, we feel that we are proposing updates to ensure legally sound best practices, strengthen safety-sensitive controls, and provide clarity for employees and our managers. I'm here to answer questions that you may have, as well as the rest of the team that worked on these changes. They're also here tonight. Sure.
File number 2026-0083 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2026-0083. And that passes unanimously. Thanks, Ms. Parr.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, next we have 2026-0087, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of the purchase order and/or expropriation by the St. Charles Parish from the owners of a certain 5.72 acre parcel of property ascribed as a portion of Lot B, Gasson Estate, owned by L.R. Gasson Holding, LLC, et al., located at 400 Hackberry Street in the unincorporated community of Luling, Louisiana, on the west bank of the Mississippi River in St. Charles Parish. And Mr. Oob, could you address that?
Yes, thank you. With regard to any technical issues about the need for the property, I'll defer to Mr. Bingham. But what this is an ordinance allowing the parish to, as indicated, purchase or expropriate property specifically needed for our drainage infrastructure. We currently have a fairly large drainage canal there. This would give the administration the authority to expropriate additional aspects of this drainage canal to allow for more maintenance, even widening. And we ask for your support. This is something that I believe is much needed, and I think Mr. Bingham can speak to the public need if there's any questions to that.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Bingham.
Yes, sir. This is priority 1 from our watershed in this area, so it is high on our list of things to be done. It includes draining a larger portion just than this area, including north of the railroad tracks. So, but for this also, we have our Kindler Paul Frederick project, which has drainage that is going to go into this. We've noted that the ditch that is there right now is not big enough for the drainage that we need, and it's imperative that for the parish to enlarge that ditch, and doing so would require getting a larger portion of that and taking the whole piece of property that is there. And that, if there's any questions concerning the project, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. 2026-0087 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussions? Ms. O'Daniels.
Mr. Oob, just a quick technical question. The expropriation is done by quick take, and then you'll figure out the amount later?
No, it wouldn't be by a quick taking. This is not anything that involves like LPLD or PLD. So we're gonna have to expropriate to the normal parish channels, which would be to first prove the public need, which as Mr. Bingham indicated, I think is fairly clear. Once we have that expropriation outlined and we have it taken, then there would be an evaluation of what the property is worth. Currently, there is an historical
Yes, we have an
servitude
historical
drainage
servitude.
through that area, so this is only for the purposes of widening. We do hope that through negotiations with the families that we're going to be able to just purchase the property. I don't think there's going to be, hopefully there's not a fight on the expropriation aspect. I think there's going to be some discussions on the valuation of what is being taken, because currently we already have an historical servitude, and it's only a little bit more of a widening.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Daniels. Mr. Bingham, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What's the timeline on this?
I know Parish President Drew has been already speaking with some of the ownership interest. This specific tract has, in fact, I'm looking at a stack of abstract that's probably about 2 to 3 inches thick right now. We've mapped out the potential ownership, which goes through multiple successions over nearly 100 years.
Yeah.
So although we have communicated with the main parties there who are, I think, are open to talking, we want to make sure we had council approval before taking the next step in getting this process started.
Okay, only because I know Debrye and I, we both share this whole project area, so, and we're always constantly getting phone calls and just to, know a timeline on it.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Bingham, how much wider are you going to make this canal, ditch, whatever?
Well,
increase it 10%, 20%, 30%?
I would say it's probably going to be more in the 30 to 40%. Yes,
That's a good deal.
It's significant. It is a significant ditch, as shown in our master drainage plan. Right now, it's more of a ditch. We're going to take it to the level of being more of a canal, which is what is needed to drain that area.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. Mr. Jew.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll just piggyback off of what Corey mentioned, is that our goal is to do an arm's length transaction and not have to go through the expropriation route. As you said, there's a lot of heirs involved in the property. So like we did with the Melanson tract in Hawnville, we want to work through those individually, hopefully secure arm's length transactions with each of them as we go along, and securing enough of the property where we feel comfortable moving forward with the project, and continue to work on, getting all of the property owners and all of the property under St. Charles Parish's name. So we'd appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Appears there's no other council discussion. Please cast your vote for file number 2026-0087. And that is unanimous. All right, resolutions. 2026-0091, a resolution approving and authorizing St. Charles Parish to submit a fiscal year 27 congressionally directed funding request for the Desalman Bulkhead Project for inclusion in the fiscal year 27 Homeland Security Appropriations Bill, specifically the FEMA Pre-Disaster Mitigation Account. Ms. Chasson.
Thank you. Our office is continuing to try to bring in some funds to get the Desalman's Bulkhead project completed. So we're submitting this request in hopes that we can get funding to complete the project all the way until the northern end. So I'd like to have this resolution to include with our request. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. File number 2026-0091 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Doesn't look like there's any. Any council discussion? Mr. Carmadell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Carl, is this for the next phase or is this for total completion?
This would be for phase 3. So we're working on lining up the funding for phase 2, and I'm hoping that if that can line up, we can get that project going maybe within the next year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, if there's no other council discussion, please cast your votes for file number 2026-0091. And that passes unanimously. Next up, 2026-0093, a resolution certifying that St. Charles Parish has complied with the bidding procedures of Louisiana Revised Statutes 38:2211 et sequitur for the construction of Desalman Boat Launch Project BA-0237. Again, Ms. Chasson.
Yes, thank you. So our funding agreement with CPRA includes this certification as a deliverable. And so this is just a formality to that funding agreement, making sure we check everything that they require of us. And I just want to say, in the past, some residents had thought that maybe we did something incorrectly, and that's why we did that. But that this is just a formality. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. File number 2026-0093 is open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2026-0093. And that passes unanimously. Appointments. 2026-0016, a resolution appointing a member of the River Parish's Transit Authority. Council will confirm nomination to the River Parish Transit Authority to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Emile Broussard III, one member appointed by the Parish Council chosen from a list of nominees, one submitted by the River Region Chamber of Commerce and one submitted by the AFL-CIO, term to begin immediately and expire January 9, 2028. Term is concurrent with the governing authority. The nominee is Mr. Nick Nasser. Please cast your vote to confirm the appointment of Mr. Nick Nasser to the River Parish's Transit Authority. And that passes unanimously. Next we have 2026-0045, a resolution appointing a member of the St. Charles Parish Planning and Zoning Commission as the District 3 representative. Council will confirm the nomination from the District 3 council member to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Ed Griffin. Unexpired term to begin immediately and expire May 31st, 2029. The nominee is Mr. Stephen E. Durand. Please cast your vote to confirm the appointment of Mr. Stephen E. Durand to the St. Charles Parish Planning and Zoning Commission as the District 3 representative. And that passes unanimously. 2026-0086. A resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing emergency medical services, as requested by the Hospital Service District Number 1, Parish St. Charles Board of Commissioners. Council Chairman will accept nomination provided by the Hospital District Service District Number 1, Parish of St. Charles Board of Commissioners representing emergency medical services to the St. Charles Parish Communications District to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Huey Marcel. Unexpired term to begin immediately and expire August 19th, 2026. This item will be deferred to Monday, April 6th, council meeting pending receipt of a required nomination. Meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings. Library Board of Control, Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Board of Adjustments, the ZBA, Thursday, March 19th, 2026, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Housing Authority, Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Hospital Service District Number 1, Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, 2 p.m., Council Chambers. Lafourche Basin Levy District, Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, 6 p.m., Lafourche Basin Levy District Office, 21380 Highway 20 in Vacherie. Planning and Zoning Commission, Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, 6 p.m. in the council chambers. St. Charles Parish Council, Monday, April 6th, 2026, 6 p.m., council chambers. Announcements. Parish holiday, Friday, April the 3rd, 2026, Good Friday. Please note that there will be a 3-week lapse between council meetings. The next regular council meeting will be held on Monday, April 6, 2026. Announcement of the public meeting. Notice is hereby given that at its meeting to be held on Monday, April 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the council chambers, the second floor of the St. Charles Parish Courthouse, 15045 River Road, Hanville, Louisiana, the St. Charles Parish Council plans to consider adopting a resolution ordering and calling an election to be held in the Parish of St. Charles, State of Louisiana, to authorize one or more ad valorem taxes therein, those being recreation and COA. Adjournment. We need a motion and a second. Ms. DeBrier and Mr. Carmadel, please cast your votes to adjourn. And that passes unanimously. On behalf of the council and myself, we wish all of you a safe and happy Easter. Have a great evening. We're officially adjourned. And St. Patrick's Day tomorrow.